Hello everybody. Welcome to reaction number 2 in our 5-part series on the 5 reaction types. Yesterday, or the first reaction, we looked at decomposition. Decomposition was noted because it has a single reactant. One reactant, baking soda was our reactant, and we saw that it came out to 3 products. The general form only has 2 products here, just to simplify things. And a lot of times it will be just 2 products. But in our case with baking soda, we had 3 products. Today, we are going to look at a different reaction. We are going to look at magnesium and oxygen. So if we look at the board, you should stop the video right now, and you should copy this down. You need to copy all of this down so that when we actually start to fill it in and do the experiment, you have it ready to go. So stop the video and start it up when you're ready to go. All right, I think we're ready to go now. So we have magnesium. This is a piece of magnesium, just a magnesium strip. Move it closer to the camera here. You can see that it is just a solid, and it is kind of a silver color. And so in our description of magnesium as our first reactant, we can write the description as solid silver. And it's bendable, flexible, so it looks like it's a metal. So we can also write metal there. Our second reactant is oxygen. Oxygen is in the air. About 19% of the air around us is oxygen. So we can call it whatever you want to call it. Maybe clear gas. Transparent gas, invisible gas. You could use any of those. All of those are fine. So here is the reaction, Mg plus O2. Remember, oxygen is a diatomic element. When it's an element, it is diatomic, so it's O2. And magnesium is not, so it's just Mg. Let's take a look at the general form and see if we can figure out the reaction type. The general form for magnesium plus oxygen, magnesium is just an element, so we can call that A. It's just a single thing, so we just want to put a single letter there. Oxygen, again, just a single element, so we can do plus X. So A plus X is what we have. If we look back at our reaction types, right here, we want to look and see if we can find something that starts AX. And sure enough, here it is. A plus X is the first one. So that is a synthesis reaction. And we note that it will only have one product. So we can go back to our table here, and we can put the reaction type as synthesis. And the product that will form is MgO, magnesium oxide. It will form AX here. And so in our actual formula, we know that it will form MgO. Now we have to be careful. We have to look at the charges of magnesium and oxygen. So if you look at your periodic table, you'll note that magnesium is a +2. I'll just put it right here for now, +2. Oxygen, O, is a -2. +2, -2. They cancel out. So the formula is just MgO. A lot of students will put a 2 here because oxygen is a 2 right here, O2. A lot of students will put a 2 after the MgO, but that's wrong. So be careful with that. So now we have everything ready to go. We have our descriptions of our reactants, and now we need to conduct the experiment and then observe our product, make our observations, and then look at our products. So we can bring the camera over to our setup. Everything is ready to go here. We have a Bunsen burner going and a crucible that's heating up a little bit. And now we have our magnesium. I put the magnesium into, kind of rolled it up a little bit. So it's kind of in a little ball here. So I have that going. And so now I can just drop it in there. I'll drop it in and we'll see what happens. It'll take a little bit for it to get going because it has to start reacting. And just a note, once it starts to react, what I can do is blow over the top of it. When you blow over the top of it, you're adding more oxygen to it. So there you can see the reaction going. You can turn off this heat. So if you blow over the top, it just gets it going a little bit more. And you don't want to look directly in there. It is very bright. So there you can see it. It's pretty much reacted now. Still glowing red hot, so you want to be super careful with that. And now we have our product sitting there. What we can do is take it off the stand, set it down. You can see that it is still kind of hot there, but you can move it around and you can see that it is a white powder. A white powder has formed in there. You can dump it out on the bench. So you can see that that white magnesium oxide. So now if we go back to the board here, you can write your observation. You can say bright, light. So you definitely saw a bright light forming there. And not much else. Couldn't see much else. The reaction was going on inside. And then you can also say a white solid powder formed. So white solid powder formed. That's another thing you can say. And then for the last part, the description of our product is MgO, magnesium oxide. And looking at our observations here, the only thing that was formed was our white solid product, or white solid powder. So that will be our description. Okay, so we are done now. That was an interesting experiment. I really like that one. I like the bright light as it's glowing up and reacting. So now you'll have to go into Schoology and go to the questions, and there are a number of questions for you to answer regarding this experiment. Good luck.